வணக்கம் நண்பர்களே, இது உங்கள் வைரவ பழனிசாமி. நமது யூபிஎஸ்சி சிவில் சர்வீஸ் எக்ஸாம் இன்டர்வியூ டிரான்ஸ்கிரிப்ட் நேர்முக தேர்வில் கேட்கப்பட்ட கேள்விகள் பார்த்துட்ருக்கோம். அந்த வகையில் இன்றைக்கி ஒரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டு, ஸோ அவங்க ஷேர் பண்ண கொஸ்டின் நம்ம பார்க்க போகிறோம். இது கொஞ்சம் லிட்டில் லென்த்தி அண்டு இவருடைய ஆப்ஷனல் மேத்தமெட்டிக்ஸ். ஸோ பார்க்கலாம். ஸோ நேம் தேவையில்லை. டேட்டு 17/3 17/3/2025. போர்டு தினேஷ் தாசா. ஆஃப்டர்நூன் அண்டு 6%, தட்ஸ் அ லாஸ்ட் பர்சன் டு கோ. ஸோ நவடேஸ் இப்போ என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா 6 பேர், காலைல 6 பேர், ஈவினிங் 6 பேர் பார்க்குறாங்க. 2 மேல் மெம்பர்ஸ் M2 M4, 2 ஃபீமேல் மெம்பர்ஸ் M3 M5. M1 அவர் பயங்கர கிளாஸிஃபிகேஷன் எக்ஸ்ப்ளனேஷன்லாம் கொடுத்துருக்காரு. M1 இஸ் தினேஷ் தாசா சார். டீட்டெயில் அப்ளிகேஷன் ஃபார்ம் ரிலவெண்ட். IIT கான்பூர். கிராஜுவேஷன் சப்ஜெக்ட் சிவில் இன்ஜினியரிங். ஆப்ஷனல் மேத்தமெட்டிக்ஸ். ஹம்பா பாஸ் ட்ரக். வாட்சிங் ஸ்டாண்ட் காமெடி. Had a few more interesting things in detail application form. Tried to nudge in the panel, but they wouldn't go for them. So I enter. அவர் ரொம்ப ட்ராமேட்டிக்காக ஃபுல் அண்ட் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணியிருக்காரு. ஸோ ரைட், and then he says, I enter. I don't remember whether I said good morning or good afternoon. Might as well have said good evening. As it started at 4:45 p.m. Dasa sir. So how are you? And you are a civil engineering, and didn't you think doing MTech, say in structural engineering, etc.? No sir, has already made up my mind, go for civil services, as I consulted some people and they advised it do not be much use if you want to go for civil services. And sir mentioned Ranveer Alagavadia. Then I asked, would you have written watching stand up in your hobby? If the Ranveer Alagavadia controversy had happened before filling this DAF2, I said yes, I would have written, and I mentioned that Ranveer Alagavadia is not a stand-up comedian. So he's not a stand-up comedian. Right. Then sir asked about the use of vulgarity in stand-up comedy, and which is especially liked by young audience. I said, not all comedians do it. Vulgarity is not funny just as it is, but is used to express emotions. Young people might find it funny as they use similar language in the close circles, but ultimately it differs from audience to audience. So some members seem to be nodding in acceptance. So do you know about Akhand Bharat Divas? No sir. Then he told 14th August it was the last time Bharat was Akhand. Okay. So fine. அவர் என்ன எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணுறாருன்னா, இப்போ நாடு சுதந்திரம் அடைவதற்கு முன்னாடி இருந்த டே அகண்ட் பாரத் திவஸ் அப்படின்றார். ஃபைன். பில்ட் இன் கண்டெக்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் அகண்ட் பாரத் அண்ட் ட்ரம்ப் ட்ரைங் டு கெட் கிரீன்லேண்ட் அண்ட் கனடா. ரைட். ஸோ ஷுட் பி ஆல்சோ டேக் பங்களாதேஷ், அண்ட் it is in a weak state now. I said Trump is quite unconventional by international standards. Dasa sir said few members laughed. Then I said no to taking Bangladesh. Talked about not being right principle, security concerns, etc. Rather, focus must be greater integration of South Asia. Right. So good answer. Then further, okay, leave the weakness part. If we do something in Bangladesh and so that we demand joining Indian comes from there, should be accepted. I said no hesitantly. I wanted to talk about similarly the psychology operations, but Dasa sir said okay, move on. Trump is taking such things and people are taking him seriously. I said sir, I think they are taking his action seriously, not his words. Sir made an expressionless face and nodded for a second. And General Manaksa said, we in the army are very much politically conscious, but we consciously choose not to indulge in speak in politics. So what do you understand by this? I gave a short explanation. And US changed the name of Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. Google changed the name to be Gulf of Mexico and Gulf of America. What do we learn from this? A brief discussion and how foreign big tech can't be relied on. And he added, then tomorrow Google might change the name of Indian Ocean as well. I said, yes sir. So they might as well do it. So Trump says, so that becomes a policy. So member two, and member two, and then it's like again it's continuing with the Trump and do you know Dave, the divisibility and equity and inclusion. So it's a full form. So what's the meaning? And then being scrapped by Trump. And okay, this is from US. And I said because it had become an excessive and it was said often overpower merit as primary criteria. Overpower merit over criteria. Okay, fine. You are a DM, district magistrate or collector in a border area of Jammu and Kashmir. And what problems do you will come? You think will come. So how would you tackle them? Then it goes to member three. Tell me about new tech being used in to clean sewers instead manual scavenging. So do you know about the changes made in the municipal laws in this regard? I said no. I would read it, sir. Then another was probably using the name machine hole instead of manhole. And you have humped up pass track in your DAF. How did it help you and what did you learn? And gave 3 points and no counter. No counter. Then further, tell me about the steps taken for women's empowerment and listed few angles and forgot Peti Bachao, Peti Padao. And do you think women reservations in job is okay? I said it's fine in the government sector for inclusive and gender sensitive and no counter. Then member four, and what should be the criteria in education? Who should afford versus who deserves versus who decides. I said affordability should be eliminated as the criterion and we should balance desire and deserving. So balance between desire and deserving and gave reasons. Okay, we all laymen explain and calculus to us. So I asked for a moment and think, but as I started almost instantaneously, he said, you don't need to answer it. We can just move on. Instead, I was like, not at all. So I said, no, sir, I would like to try. And started answering instantaneously and gave an explanation, but not very good one. Some private universities have come up which offer great infrastructure and faculty. So, if given choice again between Shivanada University and IIT, given the fees and same, what would you choose? And why OFC? I said IIT gave 2 points, and faculty that informed and cutting edge research and culture, both admin student and student governance culture, made a point about my learnings from students governance to make them ask a question from that. And but they did not go for it, forgot about alumni network. So did you like civil engineering when you choose as a branch in IIT? No, sir. The choice was based on my rank, and but I grew like it as studied it. No counter. Do you think civil engineering has any future in India? He also rephrased again. Yes, sir. A lot of happening there, and lot needs to be implemented, especially in India, and gave some general points. So, what are your qualities that make you good civil servant? I gave 3 points and no counter. These are the standard answer. You can have it. Then, who is your favorite stand-up comedian? I said Abhishek Upamanyu. No comment, no counter. And member 5 continued the discussion on education. Do you think Indian society is a meritocratic society? I said in the foundation it is, but we added more provisions for equity and inclusion. And do you think the totality of meritocratic society is possible? I said in principle it is possible, but there will be always be aberration. I think she was going towards an idea of favoritism, but I couldn't grasp it properly at that point and rather interpreted merit versus equity. Merit versus equity. So, what is the goal of stand-up comedy? I said its only goal is to make audience laugh, and she was expecting something more elaborate, but emphasized the many comedians do agree that it is only the goal. But is it any art form? No, ma'am. Then some discussion and how difficult stand-up is. and Dasa sir, and took over a discussion from there. And then, if a comedian from Chandigarh performance in Odisha, will the audience respond to it? I said no. So he says no for that. But see, the response will be different. And I gave example of common concept of Delhi versus Mumbai comedians. So what will be the reason for the difference? Tell me the names of top 3 male stand-up comedians in India. According to you, I told Abhishek Upamanyu, Zagir Khan, Rahul Subramaniam, and I knew actual question was coming next. So now, tell me top 3 female comedians. I told Prashanti Singh, Srija Sardurvedi, and Gurlim Pannu. So do they have their jobs on their side and are doing it full time? I said that because they are famous and then they are not now committed to comedy full time, and they had other jobs earlier. Other jobs earlier. And who is your role model? So this normally happens. Your role model, and don't say some family members or friend whom we don't know. Name a public figure. I said Sam Manaksha. So I got lucky here and had Dasa sir not mentioned him in the at the start. So I was prepared with the name already for this. I might have said that I don't have a definite person as a role model, and then would have picked up some inspiring personality. Unfortunately, I kept calling general, and whereas he was, yes, field marshal. He was a field marshal. So that's true. Then further, and but no one seemed to mind it. And I said I was very happy. Then I came to know of the movie Sam Manaksha and to see those anecdotes being enacted. So what was your favorite scene? I couldn't recall my favorite scene. I said 2. His conversation with this defense minister and when he caught Moniker Sam Bahadur. So, and brief explanation for first one. So what was a scene where a secretary rank officer mistook an young officer for a server? Yes, sir, it's an important scene. Then brief discussion on Manaksha's witty articulation in that scene. So if you were a director of the movie, what would you change? At first, I said, it is well made. I don't think so I would change anything. It's well made. I will change anything. He insisted, asked again. I said that movie felt like various anecdotes were switched together. I would do something to ensure that continuity is more smooth. I got lucky able to recall the observation. Who would you choose to act as Sam Manaksha? So I said VK Kaushal and did a fantastic job. I won't change him, sir. And then said thank you. And then everyone was silent and looking at me, and they nodded slightly and then nodded back. So the interview was over, but sir did not say explicitly. Then I waited second and asked, should I leave, sir? Sir said yes. Then I thanked everyone and left. I may have forgotten few questions. Assessment. Some discussion, some standalone questions and which with no counter question. Balance between DAF topics and other topics. Nothing asked from the day's newspaper and very cordial. No grilling. I tried smiling throughout and most successful in it and felt like I could have given much more better answer in various places, and the interview lasted for 35 minutes, right? So it's a very quite exhaustive and very detailed interview we have seen, and so nice this person has given, and thank you very much for listening, and we'll take up one more transcript for the next video. Thank you.
வீடியோ உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்தா லைக் பண்ணுங்க, ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க, சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்க, கமெண்ட் பண்ணுங்க, பெல் ஐக்கன் பிரஸ் பண்ண மறந்து போயிடாதீங்க. அப்பதான் நாங்க போஸ்ட் பண்ற வீடியோவோட நோட்டிபிகேஷன் உங்களுக்கு வரும்.